I actually have, it seems like a good amount of things on here. They're probably just me being like, dang.
That's all your notes. Well, welcome to the podcast. I'm John.
I'm Lizzy.
And this is Harry Potter and the Second Time Reader. I nailed it on that one. That's perfect.
So good.
I'm in a rhythm now. All right, so we're on for the last 4 chapters of Philosopher's Stone, or Sorcerer's Stone, however you want to say it. And this one is chapter 14, is in the Norbert, the Norwegian Ridgeback, when Hagrid gets a dragon. The Forbidden Forest, when they have detention in the forest and they find, the unicorn drinking blood of the unicorn, the weird stuff. Chapter 16, through the trapdoor, when they finally start their little obstacle course. And then the last one, the Man with Two Faces, which is
terrible.
Yeah, the Man with Two Faces, which is a terrifying chapter.
How do you feel about the ethics of hatching a dragon in your fireplace?
Ooh, wow. I've never thought about that question.
It's kind of the illegal animal trade.
Well, the first thing that I'm thinking about is it's somewhat similar to Dumbledore in your mind, because you think Dumbledore, you have the perception that Dumbledore is above the law because he's so smart and so good at what he does. So he doesn't need to really abide by the rules.
Yeah.
Hagrid is the same with animals.
That I'm with you.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
Wow. All right. We're on the same page
here. If there's
here.
one person I want to illegally have a dragon and hatch it and it's not its habitat, let it be with Hagrid.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Because he's going to care for that thing so well.
And he does. He puts his heart and soul in that.
Yeah. That thing, oh my gosh. What you need to feed that thing is absurd.
What was it?
I think it was chicken blood and I'm going to Google this real quick.
Because there was feathers everywhere.
Yeah.
Which he's just bleeding the chickens out in his cabin. I want to live in Hagrid's cabin. I also have a very clear picture of what that looks like.
A bucket of brandy mixed with chicken blood. Wait, you have a clear picture of Hagrid's cabin?
Yes.
Paint it for me.
Okay. It's square with a flat roof.
Ooh.
And then, so you walk in this door that's panels of wood, 2x4s, but all janky and old wood. It's creaks open. Walk in, fireplace on the other side. So you see the dragon egg. Big fireplace, the old 1800s house where they have the cauldron thing that swings in and out. And kind of that low ceiling feeling too. If you've ever been in those remakes of those.
Yep.
Yeah, so good. And then there's a table in front of the fireplace, kind of a big table. And then just a couch. And then the door is a little offset to the left on that front part of the house.
Yeah. So
on the right, you have a small counter with open cabinets on the bottom and a fridge.
Love this.
That's the house.
And a fridge. I like that you just threw in a fridge there.
Well, the fridge had to come because the fridge was being mentioned multiple times.
The fridge?
He has milk.
Yeah, but Hermione's
getting milk out of the fridge. Scabbard just came out of the fridge.
Does Hagrid have a refrigerator?
Yeah, but yes. How else? Otherwise, if it's not a fridge, it's just open shelf, wood cabinets.
Maybe
with shelves.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. He has a root cellar. We'll say he has a root cellar. I don't know if he has a fridge.
I think this stemmed from the chapter art, though, somewhere.
I've never heard that or thought of that.
What does Hagrid's house look like to you?
I have the movies thing in my head, which kind of stinks. Because, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to start with thinking about what I initially thought of what Hagrid's cabin looked like.
He's very big to me in my mind too.
So that's why the roof has to be a little high, but it has to be I still think it's cramped for Hagrid.
Yeah, cramped is a good word.
Yeah. But I think there's tons of stuff hanging from his rafters, tons of hunting equipment, tons of he has the snowshoes that are 10 pairs of snowshoes that are hanging all around because he really needs snowshoes,
Why does he need snowshoes?
Because he's huge and he was like, he doesn't want to walk because he just seems like the snowshoe type to me. Okay. I don't know why, but he just seems like the snowshoe type.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, tons of like hunting and trapping and
definitely like open rafters.
Yeah,
that was a good addition.
Yeah. No doubt.
Mentally paint that in.
That was a great description of it.
Like Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's like Hagrid. Yeah.
And there was this thing where like I don't know what that female actress's name is in that movie, The Princess Bride. But
I don't know what her name is.
I read this thing where he would like put his hand on her head, and he was just like so much bigger that it would like keep her warm because they're like filming in a really cold place, and they would just stand like that.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I picture Hagrid, like that massive, that like.
I love that.
They almost like can't hug. Like there's these scenes where he's like throwing himself onto them in tears, and they're just like buckling
barely
under the
keeping
weight.
him up. Yeah,
that's one reason that I would be scared to watch the movies, because I know he's one of those things that I imagine like it's just something that a human can't portray. Like he's a little bit more subhuman.
You might be surprised. The guy that plays Hagrid, he just passed away, and there's people who hate a lot of the casting decisions and a lot of like the people that they made in the movies. But one that has like almost uniform love is Hagrid. People think that he's portrayed really well in the movies.
He's a very lovable guy.
Yeah, he's a lovable guy. So when we watch the movie, we'll have to do a deep dive on that, whether you like it or not.
Okay. And he has like black hair.
Yeah. Matted black hair. It's probably like all in knots and it's like all everywhere. Yeah. It's like,
big beard. It's just like all hair.
Yeah. Like I'm imagining his hair is so knotted and like it's almost on the point of dreads. All right.
I'm sneezing.
It's all right. You can sneeze in the mic.
Yes. Very naughty.
Yeah.
Very like coarse and and like big burly man clothes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like furs. Like just a camel. Like,
yeah. Seriously, he's like camel hair. He's like
well, maybe he wouldn't be that guy actually.
Because he's not a hunter, yeah.
Maybe he's anti-fur trading.
He probably is. He's very ethical in how he does things, but he just does think he's above the law. That's a good take. If there's anybody who should handle a dragon in these books, it really is Hagrid. He's very good at that. But it is a little bit outside of it. Yeah, he's a little bit outside of his bounds, as he can't really handle it anymore. Yeah, and it's getting too big, and he's realizing that. But it takes like teams of wizards to be able to deal with that, and he's kind of dealing with it himself, so he's pretty good.
Yeah, that's like me and my dog. I'm like, oh, he's so tiny, he's a baby, and he's like just suffocating me. Like
he's huge.
It's just you just have this new perspective when you love an animal.
Yeah. I know, it's the best. And Hagrid is so good at that. One thing that I love about Hagrid is that he has a special affinity for some of the like overlooked animals and creatures. Gotta sneeze?
Yeah, I think so. Can we
I'll edit all this out so I know the word. You can sneeze as much as you want.
We were saying how we think Hagrid would be the best person to take care of it, but how he's actually not really taking good care of it if you think about it.
Oh, well, I think he has like a special affinity for like the creatures that are overlooked. Like some of these monstrous creatures that people think are actually scary, he actually loves because they're misunderstood. And I love that. And then in the new movies, here's a trivia question that you are not going to know for this movie. Who wrote the textbook Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them?
Mary Oliver.
The greatest poet. How cool would it be if she like threw something in there like that? My favorite poet of all time right now is actually a witch, and she writes with like books about creatures on the side for the wizarding world. And she's also a great Muggle poet.
What?
I'm talking about Mary Oliver. I'm coming up with lore in my head of this.
Like too into the lore here. It's confusing.
Wait. This is another side note. We'll get back to that one in a second.
Hold on to that side note. That book is a real book?
Yeah, it's a real book. It's written by Newt Scamander, and Newt Scamander was the same. He like saw
somebody's
these.
Called Newt in here.
Mm-hmm. It's the same.
That's one thing we didn't talk about. Those names are so funny because they all have like a hidden meaning that's like matches with their thing.
I know, like matches their personality too.
But like the fungus person is like
I know, Spore. Yeah, it's
and
so good.
Newt's an animal.
Newt Scamander, I know. Newt Scamander is one of my favorite people. The movies have a Newt Scamander, and he's the coolest. I love him so much. But they were destined to write these books. But Hagrid's like, I feel like Hagrid could write a book about like the misunderstood creatures and where to find them, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be great at that.
I feel like a lot of the creatures just need love and respect.
Yeah.
At first.
Seriously.
And everybody kind of doesn't give them that. And that's why Hagrid can get to them. Because even Buckbeak, it's like you have to bow.
Yeah. Right.
And a lot of like, even the students on the first day, they didn't want to bow to it.
Yeah.
But I think Hagrid is just like able to get over himself and love the creatures.
I think that's great. I love it. Yeah, Hagrid's a great caretaker of all the creatures.
I think that's really endearing of Dumbledore to give Hagrid that position too. Because at first you're like, oh, he's just like not good enough to be a professor. But then it's like he really took it in stride and he's like, this is my thing. I'm going to be great at it.
Yeah.
And it shows. And he's very lovable.
He's so lovable.
And he has a great attitude.
I know. He's
first years.
That's a great Hagrid impression. You keep doing that. You got to do all your impressions on these. First years.
Oh no.
We'll have an impression contest. There's so the next chapter is in the Forbidden Forest. There's a few like little things in there that are really interesting to me. But there's a great moment of foreshadowing in that chapter with the centaurs. And the centaurs have this line. Always the innocent are the first victims, he said. So it has been for ages past, so it is now. I think that line's great because it sums up the series relatively well.
Yeah.
In that most of the people who are like the first victims even of Voldemort are the innocent people. They have done nothing wrong. And it's tragic. And even in this series, like this dude is just talking about like a unicorn that really was just living its life, you know, prancing through the forest. And all of a sudden it's a victim because it has something valuable to it. And I think that's actually really interesting that the Hagrid chapter is right. I've never thought about this before. Is right before this chapter where someone is taking advantage of a beast rather than someone is really taking care and like nurturing a beast.
Yeah.
That's really fascinating.
It's very uncomfortable placement. It like hurts worse.
Yeah, for real.
I have a lot of questions about the Forbidden Forest.
Like what?
Is it any more special than any other woods in Wizarding Land? Or is it just that like they're kids and they can't go in there? Because like, you know, when you're a kid and your mom's like, don't go past the bridge.
Yeah.
Is it like that kind of thing? Or is it like actually a super special forest and like it's unlike every other wild Badland?
I would probably say it's a super special forest unlike any other Badland.
That's a great sentence. A super special forest. So are unicorns like endangered species? Are they like few and far between? Why are they sacred again? Because they are.
I don't think there's so much few and far between, but I think that's a great question. I would almost say that wizards have like kept these animals within like sanctuaries, which are like magical forests. Every once in a while, like one escapes and the muggles have like a sighting of a unicorn, you know? But I think they kind of keep them in their animal sanctuaries. And those are like the magical forests that we have. So like there's centaurs in these forests and there's, you know, these unicorns, there's these acromantulas, these spiders, all sorts of like weird creatures in there.
Spiders.
Yeah.
No good. The part where Quirrell is like drinking the unicorn on his hands and knees. I have such a vivid picture. It's awful. Like I hate that.
Yeah.
I will burn that page. And then he's like, oh,
it is so gross.
And the fact that, like, I hate that it happened. Like, you're watching it happen and you're just, like, in such a trance that, like, you can't move. But it's Malfoy and Harry, which is so weird. Because they're, like, why are they sharing that experience?
Yeah.
And then it's just, like, it's just, I can't.
I hate that Malfoy's in there with them.
And Malfoy's the one that screams, too.
I know, yeah. He's a little...
What would Harry have done without Malfoy there? Like, Harry would probably... like, watch it silently. His scar probably would start burning.
Yeah. He would probably, like, his scar would burn so badly to the point where he would probably, like, faint and, like, lose consciousness or something like that. And they'd find him. He'd wake up, like, an hour later and he'd be in, like, Hagrid's arms or something weird.
Yeah, because he wouldn't have made noise and gotten caught.
Yeah. Although, there is part of me that thinks Harry would march out and save the unicorn. Because Harry has a saving people complex. And he definitely has that. And probably not so much with creatures, but maybe there's something that would, like, ring in him that he'd be like, that creature is being hurt by something that it shouldn't. And even though Harry's scared, that's why he's, like, a true Gryffindor. He would march out there, even in spite of his fear of whatever that creature is. And he'd try to fight it.
Was his detention more the quest to, like, find the beast that killed the unicorn or to save the unicorn? It was to find the thing that hurt it, right? Yeah,
it's probably to find the thing that hurt it, which is a ridiculous detention for first years.
I did not understand that at all. I was like, this is so weird. In the middle of the night.
Yeah, in the middle of the night.
The Forbidden Forest.
And Hagrid splits them up when they've never been in the Forbidden Forest before.
Like, Fang's a great guide.
Right? I know, yeah.
And then I don't understand because you're just opening the door. It's like... here's somewhere you never go. Go walk around in the middle of the night for 2 hours.
And look around for this creature that I've never seen before. And I've never seen unicorns die like this before. Go look for the creature that's doing this.
Yeah. Harry Potter.
Yeah.
While Voldemort's out.
Yeah, while Voldemort's on the loose, you know.
Yeah. And Hagrid's even uptight about it too. Like, he's not cool with it.
Yeah, I know. It is legitimately insane that they do that.
Can we talk about centaurs?
Yeah.
They're so interesting.
Yeah.
I think I like them.
Why?
I think they're like... I think they're funny. Like, I think if I saw one in real life and I had a conversation with it, I would just laugh. Like, the moon says, this can't be so. I just be like, dude, you're so weird. Like, what?
There's definitely people that are like that.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Weird astrology people. They're like, oh, you know, like your moon phase is like this. And you're like, what the heck are you talking about, dude? Come on.
Yeah.
And then, like, anytime Hagrid's trying to get an answer out of them, they're just like, Mars is bright tonight. We all have those weird people in our life that are like, oh, Mars is really bright tonight. That means this and this, you know? But Mars is the bringer of war. So that's why they're saying Mars is bright tonight.
Oh.
So little hidden subtext in these chapters.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Do you think a centaur would kill a human or kill one of the wizards? Because they don't like them.
Yeah, I think they definitely would.
Because they were mad at whatever his name is for saving Harry.
Yeah. But they would need really good reason. They wouldn't harm foals, as they call Harry and the young kids. But they would definitely, if someone came around and, like, you know, if someone called them like half-breeds or like made fun of them in some way, they would probably kill.
Wow. I really understand that whole thing about Harry riding them too. Like, I can see how that's like disrespectful.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
I'm with it. Like that. Yeah, don't touch me.
If you're part of the centaur gang, Lizzie's riding around as a centaur over there, and she's like, "You're letting a human ride on your back? That's like, you can't do that. That's awful."
It is. I totally get it. Because you're above a horse. Like, you're above that.
Yeah, you're above that crap.
But no, there's servitude. He's doing a favor.
Horses are cool, though. I'm not gonna lie.
How many horses have you ridden?
None. I've never ridden a horse.
None.
No, actually, that's a lie. I've ridden one when I was a kid.
Didn't you like live in Texas?
Summer camp. Yeah, everyone's riding a horse around. I don't know if I ever saw a horse in Texas. Huh?
They don't have cars in Texas.
They only ride horses. Ride horses everywhere you go in Texas.
I've ridden a horse twice.
Oh yeah? How was it?
Yeah.
Fun experience?
Really fun.
Really?
Yeah. A little scary.
Yeah? I hear it's a little scary.
It's fun though. I would do it again. I've done it on tropical islands.
Wow.
Like all the good tourists do.
Yeah, a good tourist thing.
And the first time I rode, my horse needed to be second in line, which was scary because it would like get into like little squabbles with the first one.
Oh gosh.
And it was like, I'm gonna fall off. And then the second time I rode a horse, my horse needed to be second to last. And then I was talking to the guy behind me, and we were in St. Kitts, and we were talking about the nets. And I was like, no way you know about the nets. Like, this man just jumped off his horse, picked up a mango off the ground, and said, "You're from New Jersey? Do you watch basketball?" And I was like, I can't fathom what's happening right now.
Everyone knows about the NBA. Come on.
I mean, I didn't. I was like, nope. You want to talk about the Yankees, though? That was my... Maybe he's a centaur.
He's really hiding as a centaur.
Yeah.
He pops out. That's so funny.
Anyway, that was a
I've never really thought about centaurs that much. They're a little weird to me, but I get the disrespect of riding on a centaur's back. I feel like that's a no-no. It's a no-no in the wizarding world. Don't ride on centaurs.
Yeah. They're kind of seers in a way.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, they are.
I'm excited to talk about that because that's going to come up later for... Do you actually think that that's a legitimate, legitimate in two ways? Do you think that's legitimate in the wizarding world, and you think that's actually legitimate in the Muggle world too? You think there's people who are actually seers?
Yeah, but not of their own accord. They have to tap into like a higher power.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, or a lower power.
What does this look like in Harry Potter? Like, are they actually telling the future?
The centaurs?
Yeah. Like, how much of what they say is real versus like, because Hagrid's rolling his eyes at them. He's like, their heads are just stuck in the stars.
But Hagrid is so down to earth.
Yeah, that's true.
That he can't even see the stars.
Ooh,
I think
coming up with another line.
I think that they're probably more accurate than people would want to give them credit for.
Yeah.
Because they seem spacey. Nobody wants to trust that. But maybe they're right.
Yeah, it's a great
Because like
point.
I already said I'd be laughing at them. Because I'm not that type of person.
Yeah.
Where I'd be like, all right, whatever. But I don't know.
There's a point in it with these books that I think everything that a seer sees in any of these books is actually right. And people make fun of Professor Trelawney, who's in the third book, all the time because they say people say that she's such a a hoax. I think everything that she says is right. And I'll prove that when we get to the third book.
Okay.
And everything that she says after that in all the rest of the books is exactly right. It's just right in different ways. So she predicts this one thing. This is one fun thing that I love. It's one of my favorite predictions that she makes. She goes to Padma Patil. Padma Patil is a Ravenclaw. And she says, beware of a red-headed man.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Now, something happens, or I think she says that to Parvati. She says that to Parvati. Now, Parvati is a twin sister with Padma Patil. I think they're identical twin sisters. So in my mind...
Am I going to stretch this?
No, I don't think this is a stretch at all. I think she actually sees what's happening in the future, but I think she's not the greatest interpreter of what's happening in the future, because this is what happens. In the fourth book, Padma Patil goes on a date with Ron, and it goes terribly. Like, Ron is just a complete jerk.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything. He's a terrible date. So I think Professor Trelawney sees that date happening and looks at and thinks it's Parvati when it's really Padma, and says, beware redheaded man, to the wrong person. So I think she is actually nailing the prediction there, but just doesn't have the right interpretation of the prediction. And I think that every single prediction that she makes, I'll talk about that at the end of book 3 or in the middle of book 3 when we get there. I think everything that she says is actually exactly right.
I think my only thing is it seems a little broad all the time. And I think that's probably why people think she's wrong, because they seem spacey. They seem like they're not actually narrowing it down to anything. But I don't know. I'm open to it. Convince me.
I'll convince you in the third book. We'll get there. So in the through the trap door chapter, there's a bunch of like obstacle course things that he has to go through. Which one was your favorite out of everything that happened there?
I think chess is so cool.
Yeah?
I love chess.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like not good, but
it's a fun game though.
It's fun. And I think it's really fun how Ron and Hermione each have their time to shine because they're not just like side characters because of friendship or because they stand up for Harry, but it's like, now I'm actually helping you. Like, hang on.
Yeah.
I can beat this chess game. Hang on. I know which potion you need to drink. And I feel like that's so cool. And there's a line that Hermione's like, I'm positive that this is the right one. And then I was just like, yeah, Hermione, like, you got it. Like, go get it, girl.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. I was just like proud of her. And then Harry just goes in and does his thing. And both his friends like really sacrificed for him, but they played into their strengths.
Yeah, seriously. Really well.
Yeah.
It's like they are better with each other than they are apart.
Yeah.
Better as a team. I like the chess one. Chess one was great.
I feel like the one where the keys are all flying around, that was like a little boring.
Yeah, it was a little boring.
And then the troll was already dead.
Yeah.
The plant, we learned about that at the greenhouse.
Yeah. Some of the teachers need to step up their game for this. Like just a plant, it's like easy. Just a bunch of keys, I feel like that's kind of easy, you know?
Got the best seeker, chaser,
Yeah,
whatever.
I know, exactly. Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Which one would you have been best at beating? I feel like you might get the potion one.
I would enjoy it because I like a good puzzle.
Yeah.
But it would take me a long time. I would probably sit in front of it for hours. There's a you don't look at memes of Harry Potter, but there's a funny meme of Mr. Bean just like sitting in a field like waiting. He's like, and everyone says this is Voldemort waiting for them to finish a full chess game. Voldemort is in this other chamber, and like he's just sitting there waiting for them to get through all these obstacle courses so that he can actually meet Harry Potter and then really try to get the Philosopher's Stone. It's so funny to me.
Were they like actually waiting there expecting him though, or were they just gonna like do it regardless? Because they
were trying to do it regardless.
Yeah, because they thought they could beat the mirror.
Yeah.
But then Harry came and they were like, oh, let's use Harry.
Let's use him, yeah. So they were definitely there trying to beat it themselves, but they just didn't know how.
Do you think they broke the mirror? It would have just been like game over. Because he was like, maybe it's in the back of it.
Yeah. If they broke the mirror, it would have been like, there's no way to get it anymore. Just period.
Well.
Unless they killed Dumbledore.
Oof.
Would have been an interesting plot twist to book 2 or book 1.
Also, the way the chess is so like physical and violent,
yeah,
really threw me for a second.
Wizard's chess is wild.
Like they're really dying. It's violent.
Yeah, the movie scene.
Are they big in the movies?
They're huge in the movies.
Have you watched Queen's Gambit?
This is wild. I watched every single episode, and I didn't watch the last episode.
It's okay.
I wasn't really that into it. I was like, it's a good show. I had it on the background, and I was just like, I'm just not really interested in how it ends.
Yeah, it's kind of mid. I agree.
Yeah.
But you know how the chess pieces like rise up?
Yeah.
That
is the most quoted scene. Have you seen at least this on like TikTok, people making fun of that video of like the chess scene in Harry Potter?
No.
Wow. You really have shielded yourself from Harry Potter.
I swipe away content. Fast, man.
When you see this, I'm going to show you all these weird memes of people like replicating that scene. It's actually hilarious, but some of them are wild. But it's like the most famous scene in probably all the movies is the chess scene.
Well, I see memes and like I get the humor that they're making because like I could either guess or just like deduce who they're talking about. But like I try not to. I just saw a video. I think it's from whatever the new one they're making is.
Okay.
And I saved it on my Instagram because I want to show you. And they're like running up this spiral staircase. And literally, I just want to ask if that's like the Gryffindor Tower or not. Because like the staircase is like against the wall. Is that how it is in the movie? Because to me, they're just climbing up a normal spiral staircase.
Oh.
But they're in this like huge thing that's like, whoa.
Yeah, all the different sets in the movies are like a little weird. If you ever play the video game, actually, Hogwarts Legacy, they did the castle perfectly. The castle is incredible in that game.
I played Lego Harry Potter.
Some people love that game. Some people talk so highly of that game. I've never played, but really I heard it's great.
If you have a Switch, get it. I just played with my brother.
Really?
It's just like a few times.
I love that.
Because he's not here. But it's like it's so fun for no reason.
I hear it's a great game.
But yeah, man, I am very
I know. That's why I like almost don't want to watch the movies with you because I want you to stay pure. But if you want to watch movies, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do reactions to that. That'll be great. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll live stream that too, so people will watch with us or something. We'll figure it out. And then, here's one random other one. If you could add a single test to all the obstacle courses, what would you add?
Ooh, like a new obstacle?
Yeah.
I feel like Hermione was onto something saying that a lot of the greatest wizards don't even have logic.
Yeah, right.
So we had a plant. We kind of had an athletic thing with the broom. They killed a troll.
You have to do long division or something like that.
Yeah, maybe like a good old like calculus problem at the end.
That's where I'd be tapped out. I couldn't do that.
Like determine the cosine of whatever. I don't know. Like, or maybe like draw something with your wand, like conjure something.
Ooh.
Stick a Dementor down there. Eat that, Harry.
Wow, that would be wild. You have to battle the Dementor.
Yeah, because nothing was really like super magical.
Yeah.
Like she did the little fire to get the plant away.
Yeah.
Which that was a line that I tagged. He was like, Are
you
mad?
A witch or not? Yeah.
Are you a witch? Yeah. That was a great line. So, I don't know. Do a little doodle with your wand in the air.
That's a good one.
Like the Disney Channel. Yeah. Make it accurate.
You have to make the Disney Channel little like ear things. That's how you have to do.
Yeah, I think drawing something.
I like that.
What would you add?
I don't know. Paint a picture. I don't know. I have no idea what I would add, actually.
See, you ask these questions.
I know, and I can't answer them. Do a crossword puzzle. That's what I would do. Ooh. Sit there and do a crossword puzzle.
That's probably a good group for a crossword.
I know. Yeah. It's the best.
Very dynamic.
It's the best. I love it.
Range of interests.
Okay, so last chapter in this book is the man with two faces. This is when you learn everything about Quirrell. It's not really Snape in there. It's Quirrell because everyone kind of thinks it's Snape. Did you think it was Snape on your first read? Do you remember?
I think I did, but I was doubting it so hard that I was like, it's not him.
Yeah.
But
you realize
no, that was a part of me.
You really realized it's him. You're like,
yeah. But just because I was trying to be a contrarian.
Yeah. There's some really interesting lines in this one too, where what do you think of this line that Voldemort says? There is no good and evil. There is only power, and those too weak to seek it.
I marked that one.
Yeah?
Yeah. Very crazy. I think he's kind of right in a way. Because, like, I hate to say it, but you could get pretty far with a mindset like that in our world today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And you can look back on history and see a lot of people who got really far.
Yeah.
Just from power. Like, power is everything right now. But yeah, like I read that and I was like, oh, I hate it. Like with everything in me. But at the same time, like that's almost like the world that I live in.
Yeah. I think that is the world that you live in, but I think that I think every house would amend that line to a slight degree. Like I, as a Hufflepuff, would say the line is different.
I love everyone.
Yeah. No, it's not that at all because I don't like everyone. It's like I would probably say the same thing is true. There's no good and evil. There's only power. And like those two weak to truly seek after power and not be loyal and not love someone and seek out the best in that person. Like power has nothing to do with it. There really is only power. But if you're seeking after power, you're missing everything that there is in life. And like Gryffindors would say, there's like, you know, there's no good and evil. There's only power and those who use it irresponsibly or something like that. And like there's no worse thing to use it irresponsibly. And then like Ravenclaws would say something like there's only power and those too weak to be mastered by it. Something like more existential.
Do you feel like having power doesn't really appeal to you?
No, I have no desire to have any sort of power at all. Do you? You're a Slytherin. You want power?
Yeah, I want power. That's like I want to be a boss someday.
Yeah, I like that.
To be a leader.
Yeah.
But
I think that's
yeah. Mooch people's life out of
for
them.
sure.
Like,
it's a great word.
I'll mooch people's Wi-Fi, but not that.
Yeah, I don't have a desire for fame, for power, for any of those kind of things. The older I get in my life, the more I just want to be surrounded by people that I really, really love, and just to enjoy life. Like, you know, I have like slight ambitions. I'm not really like a Slytherin, but I definitely have ambitions. I like want to do things. I like have these like dreams and aspirations, but more and more I just want to value loyalty like a true Hufflepuff.
That's good.
There's a line in the movies that's actually kind of close to this. That's really beautiful. I'm gonna find it.
This paragraph that you pulled that line from, I have a note and I just say, this is when I truly start to see just how evil Voldemort is.
Ah, interesting.
Because I always thought Voldemort is evil. Like, there's no shot that you could doubt that. But, like, just the way that, like, Lord Voldemort showed me how wrong I was. There is no good and evil. There is only power, and those too weak to see it. Since then, I have served him faithfully. Although I have let him down many times, he has had to be very hard on me. He shivered suddenly. He does not forgive mistakes easily. When I failed to steal the stone from Gringotts, he was most displeased. He punished me, decided he would have to keep a closer watch on me.
It's so creepy.
And it's like, not just keep a closer watch on you, but he has to possess you.
Yeah.
Like, he has to be in your skin.
Yeah.
And ruin your life.
Yep.
Because of his power hungriness.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna find lots of examples of how actually crazy this guy is. Like the certain things that he does. This is one of the craziest. And I've never really thought about it in terms like that. So that's like a really brilliant enlightenment. And he dies from it. Yeah. All because Voldemort just thinks people are disposable, and he just thinks that they're like objects to be used. It's really tragic.
He served him faithfully.
I know. Yikes. Yeesh.
Yeesh is right. Why can't they touch each other? Like, why do they both burn?
Why do you think so?
The love.
I
Googled it.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's love.
Okay, that's crazy.
Dumbledore explains this. And it's one of my favorite lines in this entire book. Your mother died to save you. If there is one thing Voldemort cannot understand, it is love. He didn't realize that love as powerful as your mother's, for you, leaves its own mark. No, not a scar, no visible sign. To have been loved so deeply, even though the person who loved us is gone, will give us some protection forever. It is in your very skin. I think that's so
That almost made me tear up when I was
so good.
Yeah.
Like the idea that it's in your skin. It's like he's not just wearing this. It's a part of him.
Yeah.
Well,
beautiful.
Oh, it's so freaking good. There's so many good lines in here. And then he has this line, and maybe this is one of the last things we'll discuss because we're running low on time. We have as much time as we want, but he says the truth, and y'all hate this line. The truth, Dumbledore sighed, is a beautiful and terrible thing, and therefore should be treated with great caution.
Yes.
That's like Dumbledore. That's like exactly what he would do. He's treating the truth with great caution.
I would agree. There's this saying or like a quote, logic without emotion is like a knife with no blade, or a knife with no handle. It cuts the one who uses it too.
I love that.
And that's kind of like truth in a way. Because like truth is painful.
Yeah.
But truth is reality, and you have to live in that. And I feel like the more you surround yourself with truth, the easier it is. Like if only 50% of your life is truthful, it's going to be like hell trying to like live through that. But if you can kind of get in the shelter of living in 100% truth, things work out.
That's a near impossibility though. I don't know anybody who truly lives in the truth all the time. Like there's even, you're talking about in the last podcast, like even your desire in front of the mirror said, the truth of the thing is that you are adequate and that you are great at certain things, but you don't live in the truth fully. Like,
but I think I do live very close to truth because I don't change my personality for people. I'm very much
for sure.
Exactly me. And I think that's why like I am likable in general to people because I'm just me and they know they're not like faking it or anything. But I don't know. I feel like if it's not 100% truth, it's like it just doesn't work.
That is a hard pill to swallow. 100% truth spoken with no other motive than just truth itself. Like one of my favorite poems is Emily Dickinson's "Tell all the truth, but tell it slant." And I think that's so good because if you really want people to listen to what you're going to say, you cannot tell them the flat out truth. You have to tell them the truth, but in a tactful way, I guess. In like a way that is slanted truth, which is weird, but that is exactly what Dumbledore does for Harry. If Dumbledore comes out in this point in the books and says, Harry, you have to die. There's no way around this. You're a Horcrux. You are literally being raised to die. No way Harry's going to go through this.
Yeah.
Like, would he? Would Harry go through with it? Maybe he would.
But Dumbledore doesn't necessarily have to lie.
Agreed. He doesn't have to lie.
He
but
could tell it slant, or he could tell it in better timing.
Yeah, for sure. He does withhold a little bit too much, which is the biggest critique of Dumbledore. But yeah, he doesn't really tell it slant. He just doesn't tell it at all. But there's a line again in the last one that we'll talk about when we hit the last book. But Dumbledore has this idea like, if I told him that, how would he be able to go on? How would he be able to do what he actually had to do? And I don't know if Harry would actually be able to do that. I don't know if anybody would actually be able to do that, no matter how remarkable they are, to know that your destiny is sealed like that and to march in. There's a line in Game of Thrones that is somewhat similar to that. And I'm kind of blanking on it, but it's like, what is courage and what is bravery? I'm going to look this up real quick. So I'm going to edit all this other crap out of the podcast. Can a man still be brave if he's afraid? That is the only time a man can be brave, his father told him. I feel like it bears kind of some similarities too. But
that's a good quote.
I know it is. What was the line that you wanted me to read again?
The one about truth.
The truth, Dumbledore sighed. It's a beautiful and terrible thing, and should therefore be treated with great caution.
Yep.
Well, thanks for joining us on this podcast of Harry Potter and the second time reader.
Second time.
Until the next book.